Hey there guys, Artistic Nick here, thanks for the click. In today's drawing video, I'm going to be drawing Bumblebee from the latest Transformers movie using copic markers, permanent ink and Prismacolor pencils. Hey guys, welcome to today's video, thank you so much for tuning in. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a mixed media Bumblebee. Now, by mixed media, what I mean is I'm going to be using various different art supplies. I'm using copic markers for base colours, and then I've been using Prismacolor and Polychromos coloured pencils. For some of the highlights, I'm using a white gel pen as well. So this is my most ambitious piece. It's taken me about 20 hours in total. So I'm just sort of going to talk you through the process that I've been using. I know some of you that have been drawing like to stick to one medium, maybe coloured pencils or graphite pencils or even copic markers. But I like to experiment and try different things. Now, I'm really happy with how this turned out. I'm sure you'll agree if you stick around till the end. I think this is possibly the best drawing that I've done, certainly this year, over the last 12 months, but possibly of all time. So let me know in the comments down below, what do you think to this final drawing? And I'll talk you through the process. Now, what I've found over the last year or so when I've been experimenting is you can actually lay coloured pencils down really, really well over the top of copic markers. Now, copic markers, for those of you that don't know, are alcohol-based. They're basically felt tip pen, but they're alcohol-based. They're refillable and they come in a variety of colours. But what you can do with them is you can actually blend. So what you'll see is I'm laying down a base colour to start with, and for the majority of Bumblebee, I used a canary yellow. So you can see that I'm laying down a base colour. And then I can actually get some darker tones in the areas that are more shadowed. So I'm using the cool greys for that, the cool grey 1, 3, 5 and 7. And then in the very darkest areas I'm using a little bit of black. But then what you can see that I'm doing is I'm overlaying the markers with the coloured pencils. And for the majority of this I'm using Prismacolor pencils. And for the very dark areas, for the blacks, I'm using a Polychromos coloured pencil, and the reason for that is the Polychromos just tends to be a little bit harder and it keeps the point a little bit better. So when I'm looking for finer details, I find that the Polychromos are the best for this, but actual coverage, the Prismacolor are absolutely fine. Now, in a piece like this, when I'm looking for some realism, there are a few things that you've really got to try and master. Now, the first thing is we want a real good contrast between the darkest areas and the lightest areas. A lot of Bumblebee is sort of a chrome metalwork, as you can see from the drawing as it's starting to take shape. Now, for that I'm using a lot of the cool greys. I'm using the white of the paper to shine through to make it look as though there's a shine. And then I'm going in with the black pencils and the white coloured pencil as well. And overall this just gives a better contrast and makes something look slightly more realistic. The next thing that we've got to do is we've got to get some fine details in there. For anything to look realistic, we do want a lot of details, and it was a particularly detailed piece. I didn't realise how technical it was going to be when I first started drawing this, hence why it's taken me so long. I mean, it's taken, like I said, about 20 hours, spread out over about the last two and a bit weeks. So the details are kind of what make it. The contrast is really important. And then the final thing that really sort of sets it off is the background. Now, I've decided to go with the background, and if you stick around till the end, you'll see the background, and I just really think that it makes it pop. Now, when you have got something like a metallic finish where you do want some of the shine and the highlights to really pop, it's very important that the background is a nice contrast. So what I went for with this was a Prussian blue, and I added some stars with a white gel pen, and this comes very, very near the end actually. I'm really happy with how it turned out, and I'm super happy with the way the channel's going, guys. Thank you so much for all of your support. Don't forget, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, it'd be really great if you could do. Don't forget to leave this video a thumbs up. And I'd like to know if you've watched the new Bumblebee movie and what you thought of it compared to the Transformers movies that have been out over the last few years now. I really enjoyed it, but who's your favourite Transformer as well? I really like Optimus Prime, and I've drawn Optimus Prime a couple of times, but I was really taken aback with Bumblebee. I thought it had great personality. Now, the thing when you're using mixed media in this way is you've got to have a really solid paper. I'm actually using a Strathmore Bristol smooth paper here, and it's actually quite thick. When you're going through the layering process that you can see that I'm doing with this, starting obviously with the copic markers and then going in with the coloured pencils, it's really important that the paper can actually take these layers. So I would really suggest getting something quite thick and substantial. Like I say, I use a Strathmore Bristol Smooth. Don't forget, you can get hold of me on social media. The links to all of my social platforms are down below. It'd be great to connect with you on there. As you can see, I'm adding this Prussian blue now, and it just really gives a great contrast. I went over it with a darker blue as well, just to get some contrast in there and to smooth it out. But I'm really, really happy with how it turned out. There's my finished piece. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Hit subscribe, smack the notifications button, follow me on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter.